And you're listening to 89.7 FM. This is Drive with myself, Eric Gyors, Virginia Lowe, and our wonderful producer, Ella.
And the wonderful
Smiling.
Virginia Lowe.
No,
He didn't say wonderful. Excuse me.
Oh, boy.
Favoritism.
Are we sitting on a horse now? Or
And on the line, we have...
On the line, we have joining us... Well, go
my
right
dear
ahead.
friend, Sam Soraya, who is Doc Sam, veterinarian extraordinaire, and the founder of Southern Cross Vets, of which there is, I think, one in Bellevue Hill, there's one in St. Peter's. And where's the other one, Sam?
In Surrey Hills. Well, technically Redfern, but we call it Surrey Hills. Sounds fancier.
Okay, excellent. That's what I like to hear.
Surrey Heights.
Surrey
Yeah.
Heights, yeah. And, okay, look, this highly pathogenic H5N1 bird flu has now arrived in Australia. Do we know where it originated from?
So H5N1 has been circulating around the world for years.
Oh,
but
has
it's
it?
never.
Oh.
It has, and it's been responsible for causing like massive wipeouts of mammals, even in South America. I was looking into it earlier today, and they had up to 30,000 sea mammals, like sea lions and all those critters, die from it. But we've been lucky in Australia. We haven't really heard much of that news because we don't have the same kind of migratory birds like ducks that travel globally spreading this H5N1. So we've been pretty immune to it up until now.
Yeah, and so I know that we have only a few cases, but what are the sort of chances of this getting out of hand? Do we have any idea how quickly it can spread?
Yeah, so throughout South America, it spread really fast. And like I was saying, up to 30,000 wild mammals, sea mammals, just died en masse. And it spread to poultry farms and dairy farms in the United States. Thankfully, I think in Australia, we're pretty good with biosecurity. We've dealt with bird flu so many times since the 70s. We've had tens of outbreaks of the old H7 strain.
Right.
And with good biosecurity and I have to say veterinary oversight, we've managed to contain every single outbreak. So I think this one will be contained too if there is an outbreak.
Can you explain that to me? Because, I'm thinking birds they don't do what they're told. They fly wherever they like. So how do you contain something like this? Obviously, go ahead and tell us.
Yeah. So we've only had 7 reported cases. There could be dozens or hundreds that haven't been reported, and only one in New South Wales. But thankfully, the New South Wales DPI, they've deployed apparently 500 officers who are going to search the shorelines for any dead birds, and they report and test for any more than a batch of 5 birds, from what I was reading, that have passed away.
Right.
And so it's hoped early detection, quarantining, and then just telling pet owners, especially bird owners, on how to contain it if there is an outbreak detected somewhere. It's really just surveillance and biosecurity now.
Right. What about people that have chickens in their backyard?
Exactly. That's a big problem. So I think that if chickens interact with birds that are infected, then it's going to spread like wildfire. The mortality rate can be over 70%. So I'm urging, and rural vets are urging all backyard chook owners to make sure that they're contained with netting and whatever, so no wild birds can interact with them. But so far, it just seems like it's a seabird situation from like birds migrating from sub-Antarctica. So the chance of a chicken interacting with one of those, unless you're on the coast, is fairly low.
So I'm imagining,
tell
me this, Sam. So these birds, as you said, they're migratory birds. They're seabirds that they've landed and they've been found dead on the coast. So they've probably flown quite a distance to get to our shores. So are we, in some ways, it's a terrible thing to say, but are we sort of lucky because if they've picked it up somewhere else, by the time they get to us, they're practically on their last legs, so to speak? Is that...
And there's probably been plenty of that have dropped out of the sky on the way over to Australia from the subantarctic areas, for sure.
Right.
So the concern is, though, Virginia, if one of these seabirds infects some local birds on the coast, and then we start having bird-to-bird transmission within the state, that could be a problem.
Okay, and go on.
And cats and dogs can catch it too.
That was going to be my next question. So, what about our pets? And this obviously is an area that is really, sort of pertinent to vets and veterinary clinics. What are the signs we need to look for? Particularly, I think it kills cats, right?
Cats are a lot more vulnerable to it. So dogs can catch it, people can catch it. We don't really know. It's like that with any zoonosis. Why some animals are more susceptible to catching it? They've obviously got a receptor that the virus likes better, so the virus can just thrive in that animal better. Interestingly, ferrets can catch this just pretty much the same as birds can as well. So there's a lot of different species that interact with the virus differently, but symptoms, red watery eyes, diarrhea, sometimes just lethargy. It's been reported in the US that cats who only have a symptom of lethargy can be infected with the H5N1 virus, diarrhea, so any other gastrointestinal signs. It really can look like anything.
Right. And with our dogs, I suppose that is the same sort of symptoms we've got to look for, is it?
Same sort of thing, but there's been very few reported dog deaths globally.
Right.
Some dogs have been sick with it. A lot of dogs have been infected, but not shown any symptoms as well.
Okay. What about rats, Sam? What about rats getting into people's chicken cages? Can rats transmit this disease?
Rats can transmit a really bad bacteria called leptospirosis. That's an even more concerning thing, especially in the Sydney eastern suburbs, inner west sort of area. I haven't heard of rats being a vector, but theoretically, if the virus is on the rat and they've been around that seabird and brought it inside, then for sure. But it is a concern. A lot of vets in Sydney now have put out bulletins today that I've seen in the metro area saying, we aren't accepting sick birds. If you've got a sick bird, sorry, don't bring it to our practice.
Wow.
Because they're worried about the impact on their staff. I think that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, so what sort of directives have the vets been given from the Veterinary Association? What have you been told to do or not to do?
Yeah, so it's really up to the individual practice, but there is concern from the Vet Association out there, and so some practices are choosing literally not to see any avians anymore until this thing is kind of wiped out, or we learn more about the impact of how it's going to go in Australia.
Right.
Most practices would still see sick birds. I think as vets, we've got a commitment to help all animals and just wearing proper PPE like we did during COVID. I mean, in the United States, they had huge outbreaks in dairy farms, and I'm talking thousands of cows affected, and vets were on the front line there having to help or cull in some instances these cows, and not too many vets caught it. There were a couple of cases, so I think we just got to be sensible about it too and not panic too much.
Yeah.
I worry it's going to be like COVID, Virginia, because in the beginning with COVID, we had people calling us up saying, can we euthanize our dog? We read an article about these dogs in China dying with COVID and passing it to the owners. I'm worried that people are going to be surrendering their birds and ethics. I think birds have the same right to ethics just like dogs and cats do. I don't want people releasing their birds scared that they're going to infect their newborn or whatever, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, people do some pretty crazy things, and it's usually done out of ignorance, so they need to sort of become informed about this. One of the things that occurs to me as well is those of us that people in Australia, most of our towns are coastal, and people sort of love walking along the beaches and their dogs running on the beaches, and that's where the dead birds so far have been found. Do you advise people to stop doing that, or to keep their dogs on a lead?
I'd be careful. I'm always careful with my dogs walking along the coast with all the putrid stuff that can wash up there.
Yeah.
So I would say just for the next few weeks until we know more about it, if you live in a coastal area and like walking your dog along the coast, just have your dog on a lead. Don't let them do stupid things like eat a dead bird or sniff a dead bird. Again, dogs are less likely to get it. And I think, although I've seen some people walking cats around Centennial Park, I don't think...
I know.
I couldn't imagine a cat.
I know. Oh, dear.
Walking along the seashore.
No, not at all. All right. Well, look, that's there was one other thing I wanted to ask you, and I've completely lost track of it now, which is okay. That's okay. That's what happens to me. I'm too old. So are you heading back down to Sydney to oversee your clinics down here? I know you're up in far north at the moment.
I am. I normally fly north to the winter, Virginia, like these birds, like these migratory birds, and escape the cold for a couple of months. But yeah, I'll be heading back in a couple of weeks, and not so much for the bird flu situation because I hope it's not going to get out of hand, but just to get back with my patients and clients and family. Absolutely.
Well, look, it's been great chatting with you, and thank you so much for all your expertise because, it is, as you say, people overreact a lot of the time, and we don't want people suddenly thinking they need to, get rid of their birds because, what if? And we aren't, the numbers are very low at the moment, but it just occurred to me these birds, as you said, that have flown in, they're dying on the coast, but then they can transfer those that virus onto our birds as well, which have, this is it's a big landmass, it's a big place, Australia, but we should probably share with listeners the phone number, what to do, where to report. And we shouldn't touch if you're worried about it, because absolutely.
Especially us being so close to the coast. So if you see any sick birds, dead birds especially, multiple, don't touch them. Take photos if it's safe to get close to them. Write down the location in your phone and call what's called the Emergency Animal Disease Hotline. And their number's 1-800-675-888. It's 1-800-675-888, the Emergency Animal Disease Hotline.
Oh, that's fantastic, Sam. Thank you for that. That was actually, my question was, what do we do if we see them? Don't touch them. Do not touch. Just take photos. Excellent.
No.
All right, mate. Well, you take care. Enjoy the sunshine.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
All right,
Sam.
thanks, Sam.
Thanks. See you later.
Bye.
That was our guest, Doc Sam from, he has Southern Cross Vets, but he's enjoying the far north of Australia at the moment and the sunshine and